Welcome to the Nexus PC channel. Today we're going to be taking apart a Mac Mini and upgrading its memory. So let's get into it. So for this we're going to need a just a basic screwdriver with normal attachments. So I'm going to put in this extendable attachment, and we're going to have to use a prying attachment so we can get open this back. Because as you can see, this Mac Mini, there are no screws to be seen on the outside, so it makes it harder to open it. More tamper-proof, I guess, that's why Apple did it. So this is a 2011 Mac Mini, A1283. Yes, so let's open it up. Okay, so what we're going to use is we might have to use a small tool. So we have to start off small and then. We're going to use this standard prying tool. And then you have to work your way around like that. And what we're going to do from here, just going to work our way around. Use slightly smaller tools to get the edges. Then, as you can see, it slowly pops off. Okay. So, now as you can see, we have gone into the actual machine. Slightly annoying, to be honest, to get into. But that is why Apple designs them like this. So, as you can see, there's the cover. We won't be needing that for a while, so we'll put that over there. Here is the actual machine itself. Optical drive on top. So now, you need to be very careful with this step. So, as you can see here, these are spring-loaded. What this is a tamper switch. So, actually no, these both are aerials. This is a tamper switch, which means you cannot start it, the Mac Mini, if the lid is not closed properly. So be careful when opening the machine. So I'm just going to make sure there's no sign of damage, because it is a bit fiddly to open. Seems all good. So since we're upgrading the memory is all the way down here. You can see a bit of it just up here. Just a bit there. Anyway, so what we're going to have to do to get to that is we're going to have to use special screws. So there is a slightly annoying ribbon connector here. There is a ribbon connector there. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this plier to disconnect the ribbon cable, as shown. Okay, as you can see, ribbon connector has come off. So, put that aside. Oops, we'll put that aside. So, now we can see that we've got the optical drive exposed. So, we actually want to remove the Wi-Fi antennas. So, to do that, to pull them like that. And then there might be a spring that comes off. There'll be a spring that comes off. Just keep that aside. Put that over there. Okay, there you go. So So down there's the hard drive, so we're gonna have to get past that. So it looks pretty annoying to get to, but we can make it happen. So what we're gonna have to do is okay, we're gonna have to use a normal screwdriver to get to the insides. Just a regular screwdriver down there, and a screwdriver here as well. So we'll just use this type. Make sure to save the screws. Use a magnet tool. There we go. Put it over there. And there's also another hidden screw here, which is very hard to get back into position. So you want to make sure you're working with the right kind of tools. And if we lose this, we're in all sorts of trouble. So okay, we've got the screw out on our magnetic tool, and when doing this sort of operation, it's very important to have one of these, an extendable magnetic tool, which means you can get to all sorts of places if you lose a screw. So very handy. Next step, just going to use the little vacuum. Just attach the vacuum attachment. Okay, so we're just going to clean up this surface area to make it easy to work with. Okay, so now that we have done that, time to remove the screws for the optical drive. So, up here, let's remove that, put that aside. Like I said before, very good tool to have, magnetic tool. Now, these screws are harder to reach to. These are here and fairly tight. So this is why it's a lot of work to access just to upgrade the memory or to upgrade a hard drive. This is why I recommend you choosing Nexus custom PCs. We do all ranges of services, from hard drive upgrades, memory upgrades, optical drive upgrades, etc. So now that we've gotten this out, we have to just lift out like that. There we go, perfect. So save that. Just put it over there. So now you can see there's the hard drive. So I'm pretty sure this is a 250. No, it's a 320 gig actually. Pretty decent for almost 10 years ago. So just gonna vacuum this up. So now what we want to do is we want to remove the hard drive enclosure. So this is probably going to be one of the most difficult bits because it is firmly stuck in and it's slightly fiddly to get out due to the odd shape of the enclosure. So what we're going to do is we're going to a standard Phillips head screwdriver, just here, and they are quite tightly screwed in, so these screwdrivers aren't ideal, but they're the only ones that I have that will fit it, so just a bit. I'm just gonna use we have to take an attachment. I've gotten the correct size screw, which took me a while to find, but anyway, this should work now. Yeah, much easier. So now just the hard bit, removing the screw and trying not to lose it. Magnetic tool. There I go, got it. So, that over there. Okay, so this means we can now get out the hard drive, so we're going to have to very carefully lever it out. It's quite delicate. It appears that it does not want to move, so seems to be stuck in there. Okay. Strange, it is not wanting to come out. We might have to delve deeper into this, so. Ah, there we go. So take that out as well. Okay, so there's one little screw over there. So, gonna use this tool. Okay, got the screw. There we go, we've got into the main section of the computer now. So we don't have to change anything out here, so I'm going to leave that over there. Put that little screw over there. Hard drive enclosure. So we can now disconnect the Wi-Fi, which I've already done. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to make sure that we put them in the exact same position, so we do not want to lose where we do not want to forget where we put them. So to make this easier, I'm just gonna, it's labeled J2. This one does not appear to have any marking on it saying J2, so I'm just gonna leave it on the right hand side of my workspace over there. This one did not come out so easily, so okay, there we go. Put it on my left side of my workspace, give it a bit of a clean up. There we go. So now it is time. So as you can see here, this is the memory, or random access memory, so RAM. So we're going to push this out here. Be very careful, this is quite delicate. Like that. There we go. So as you can see here, that is the RAM. So we're going to put this aside. The lower one's a bit difficult as well, so what we're going to do, that should just come out, there we go. Put that over there. As you can see, very dusty. Okay. So, underneath here, I'm presuming this is the CPU, so we could attempt to access that if you want. Actually, it's too deep. Yeah, we have to take off that. No, okay. So, now that we've got the RAM out. Oh, by the way, Apple uses Kensington RAM, so it is 1.5 volt Kensington 4 gigs. So 2 times 4, so 8 gigs of RAM. Yeah, so bottom one in first, because yeah, otherwise it'll be impossible to get it in. So you want to put this one in at the bottom first. So how we do this is push it in, slide it in like that, push until we hear a little click from here. It should be a simultaneously click. And then with this one, we want to, same thing, just a bit, the top one's normally a bit annoying to get in. There we go. That's in. Let's do a final dust check. It's always good to keep your components you're working with clean. Therefore, if there's any troubleshooting you have to do, you know, and something goes wrong, you know it's not going to be something as basic as a dusty computer, which surprisingly, dust can actually have quite a big effect on the contacts of the RAM, hard drive, etc., which can lead to it not working. Possibly even corruption, data corruption. So, we're not going to replace the hard drive, I'm just going to take it out, show you what it looks like. So, as you can see here, it's connected to the SATA controller hub, which connects to the optical drive which sits on top. So to remove this, annoying screws and a temperature sensor. So if we mess up that temperature sensor, the hard drive, the fans will go crazy all the time. So it's a very important step. Do not mess that up. So I'm going to move this over here. Just unscrew these screws. So we've removed the screws. I left the screws in there, but I've unfastened them. So we can undo this. Now we want to be careful. Take off the sensor, which is off there. Take off this tape. Okay, actually it's screwed. There we go. So hard drive's out. Screws over there. Here is the temperature sensor. So how this works, this is going to go back in there somehow, hopefully. Yep, okay, so let's cut this. There you go. So it's a bit fiddly to get back into position, but it's easily done. So that just fits like that. So let's install the hard drive back in. So you can see it's a Hiachi. Apple uses Hiachi, sometimes use Seagate as well. Hiachi, standard SATA connections. Okay, we'll give this a bit of a clean. So obviously when you're doing a hard drive change, you have to make sure you've backed up everything. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put this back in position. So this is just going to sit back in here. Like that. Now, we need to make sure it's perfectly lined up. And we're just going to use a bolt screwdriver to fasten it. And then same over here. So, as you can see, the platform controller hub has been connected in to the hard drive. Now, to mount the sensor, right. We'll just do this then. Okay. We'll have to reposition that. There we go. That has to go perfectly in the exact same position. So it goes just next to that white barcode on the opposite side. Tape it down just in case. Okay, and it's very important that you do not use tape on the actual sensor, obviously, because it'll mess it up. Okay, so we've got sensor in position. So it is time to put it back onto the normal board. So let's move this out of the way for a second. So as you can see, the board is still here. This here is a Wi-Fi card. So yes, remember how earlier on in the video I put one Wi-Fi antenna over there and one on this side, so I knew which side would go on to. I've just left that like that. Okay, so if you ever want to replace the CPU, it's going to be under here. Not particularly sure how you access it. I think it's something we're going to take off the bottom of the case, which I know is a big pain to do, so I'm not going to do that. So let's put this back on. So we already know which way it's going to go because hard drive. Yes, this is the connectors here. Have to sit there, so it's obviously not going to work that way. It's going to go like that, and there's the optical drive slot, so that's just going to fit nicely back in there. Okay, finally we've got it in position. So you know it's in position once this won't wiggle too much, and yes, so gonna lower that down there carefully. So we want to secure the hard drive and secure a screw that goes here. So once again, it's down to Phillips head. So you'll notice that it's still quite obviously loose, so it's going to be secured once we put the screws in at the top. So it is to secure the hard drive back into position. So do this. Okay, hard drive's nice and secure. So now it is time to install the optical drive back in position. So we want to make sure the optical drive fits in perfectly, otherwise, well, the entire thing's ruined. So it's a critical step of this build. So as you can see here, it's a solid connection over there, which goes like that, into this end of the CD drive. Like there. This just slides right in, like, behind that. And then we'll mount in once we get a clip now. So we've got to do this ribbon connector now. Put this back into position. So this goes like that, and ribbon connectors are helpful because they stay in position. Their shape stays the same, which is very handy. So what we're going to use is going to use these special tweezers, which basically what they do is they are inverted tweezers. You have to actually squeeze them to open up, which is very helpful for electronics. So do that. And then we're going to use this just to push it down back to the optical drive. So use just a regular tool. That one, the bigger tool won't fit. Now, as you can see, it's a bit hard to get it in because there are these two little prongs here which interfere with the drive. So we do that. Then we have to disconnect this ribbon connector quickly because it's a bit in the way. So, and this will be the last step. One of the last steps anyway. This one should be slightly easier. Now time to install the Wi-Fi antennas back in, which goes in like. Just rotate that a bit. Okay, there we go. So install the Wi-Fi antennas, time to put the rest of the screws in for the optical drive, then we're done. As you can see, here's the optical drive entrance, which is just a flicker switch. Actually, I think I've actually got a CD in there from before, which I've been meaning to get out, which I've never done. Might just quickly do that now. Okay, I've got the CD out, that old CD from who knows when. So yeah, basically I use this Mac Mini because it's kind of useless for day-to-day use, but I actually use it as a Minecraft server because it's got good specs, and so I can enable to play with my friends, I guess. But yeah, that's what I use this Mac Mini for, because it's kind of, this older model is kind of not much good for anything else now, since it's just old tech. But yeah, I have a little server room set up, so there we go. Just gonna quickly install the screw. I've got that screw back in position. Just put that away. There we go. So now probably one of the easier bits, getting the cover back on, not off, but not getting the cover off, but getting it on, because it's simply just a matter of. So as you can see here is just the basic cover. There's the CD entrance, which basically is kind of useless now. Yes, there's the Kensington lock when it's on display at Apple showrooms or whatever. So we want to make sure we get everything lined up. So we're done with the build, so we don't have to do anything more. So we just do this. It's a bit annoying to get it positioned, but once it's positioned, it's just a matter of clicking. Anyway, I think I've positioned it now anyway, so yep. And that is a completely upgraded RAM memory and a completely fixed Mac Mini. So if you like this sort of content and you feel like you would like to know more, please subscribe to this video. Consider checking out our website, Nexus PCs, which will be in the description of this video. And if you're interested in any computer repairs, upgrades, or any custom PCs built for you, we'll do it for you. Just contact me with contact information on the Nexus PCs website.